faces and to meet some new folks. Some of you I know, but it's been, as the kids say, it's been a minute. It's been quite a while since I've seen you in person, so it's really good to see so many people with an attitude of public service, of community, of togetherness, of assembling in real life, in person, in 3 dimensions. And I want to especially extend our welcome to our friends from Japan. Thank you very much for that. So I have some prepared remarks, but it's really just a couple of pages because I know about Rotaries, and I know about probably 30 of the people in this room well enough to know that you're going to have questions. And you may or may not have heard me give speeches before. And I'm sure, that wouldn't offend you, but like 45 minutes of speech giving is and so what I'd like to do is just offer some preliminary remarks and then just try to have a little bit more of a conversation. These are challenging times. And I think the first question people ask me is sort of how do I approach this, right? I think I have 2 very solemn obligations. One is to make sure that the bones of democracy, the bones of American society are intact as we get through this tumultuous time. And the other is to make sure that the people that I represent are taken care of. And those are often in parallel, and sometimes they are in some kind of tension. And so you always want me to be the pragmatist as it relates to federal funding. But these are not normal times, and this is not a normal presidency. And so I didn't want you to think, well, sort of do the thing. I didn't want you to think that I was so fixated on just bringing home the bacon that I failed to notice the multiple crises in sort of every aspect of the American experiment. But I also didn't want you to think that I was so fixated on, vanquishing my political opponent that I forget about this. I just visited the Queens Medical Center and talked to them about the potential Medicaid cuts that are on the table and the kind of impact that would have in the state of Hawaii. And so it's always a balance between the pragmatist in me, because I do think that's part of why people hired me to do this job, and the aspect of, every day sort of looking yourself in the mirror and saying, was I Neville Chamberlain or was I Winston Churchill today, right? And so I just wanted to give you that frame. That is how I am constantly trying to calibrate. The most important thing that I heard over the last 72 hours is from the new Congresswoman from, I think it's Delaware. I'm always forgetting if it's Delaware or Rhode Island. All due respect to my husband. But she's new Congresswoman, and she was asked, about this sort of, what do we do? What do we do as a society? And she said something that her dad told her, which is, if everyone's just a little more brave, we won't need any heroes. And maybe I like that because I don't want to be a hero and I want some help. But I really do think that has to be the theory of change here. I am impressed. I am relieved at the 7-2 decision at the United States Supreme Court. I am impressed. I am relieved at Harvard standing up for its institutional prerogatives. I am impressed at people from every walk of life sort of standing up for basic principles. I am especially pleased that the kind of people power movement that I see growing is of course left of center, but it's not primarily about that. Resistance 1.0 was very much a progressive left project. And listen, I'm progressive left, so it's fine with me. Except that politics is about addition, not subtraction. And one of the things that I think the Democratic coalition has done exactly wrong for almost as long as I've been in public office is kind of a winnowing down of who is pure enough, who is good enough, who is enough of a fighter, who votes with you exactly how they expect, how they want. And so that's subtraction, that's subtraction, that's subtraction. And it should be no surprise that if you keep subtracting, you end up with 48.5% of the vote, right? I am reminded of my good buddy and mentor, Neil Abercrombie, says, people vote for you for their reasons, not yours. And I think one of the things that was really wrong with the Democratic coalition was that a lot of people were searching for vindication of their worldview rather than to just succeed, amass power, and use it on behalf of the people. Like, it's a very simple equation, right? I'm supposed to be the representative of the people, and then I'm supposed to use whatever power is given to me by the Constitution and my election certificate, and then try to help as many people as possible. Mitch McConnell always says, winners write laws, losers go home. And so I am absolutely determined to be, yes, I'm continuing to be a left progressive, but if someone wants to join our coalition and I disagree with them about 3 out of 5 things, I don't care. Welcome. And if somebody voted for Trump, and this part's really important, if somebody voted for Trump and now they're coming around to saying, God, these tariffs are not working, I didn't know they were going to lay off veterans, the answer is not, oh, now you know. The answer is welcome, right? Jasmine Crockett the other day, who I have not met, but I do enjoy watching her on the internet. She said, the way she framed it I thought was funny. She's like, I've dated, I got fooled, and then I realized, oh, this guy's not for me, right? And there's no shame in that. You try it out, and it doesn't work. And so what we want to do is leave a little room for people to go, I had my reasons, and they were valid. By the way, even if you don't think they were valid. But I had my reasons that they were valid. The border, right? Or Joe Biden wasn't up to the task. Or the price of everything. Like, those are valid reasons to have frustration with the Democratic coalition, the Democratic Party. And so let them be okay with having cast their vote, and let them be okay with having changed their mind. So